Homer accidentally sliced off one of his fingers. He wrapped the injury with a cloth and then realized that the finger had somehow been cooked. In the end, he gave in to temptation and ate the finger himself. After tossing the bone into the garbage, Homer felt overwhelming remorse for consuming human flesh and promised himself he would never do it again. He noticed that one hand was now missing a finger while the other seemed uneven, which looked rather strange. So Homer placed another finger onto the grill. At that moment, Flanders invited Homer over for a steak dinner. Homer worried the dog might get to his finger, so he secured the barbecue. But then he discovered the steak tasted awful, which completely reignited his craving for meat. A single finger was nowhere near enough, so Homer headed straight into the kitchen and began dealing with his toes. The fat from his stomach was worked into dough, and even his dandruff became seasoning. After finishing this bizarre meal, Marge's voice suddenly came from outside the door.
Actually, Homer, you look like you've lost 20 pounds.
Marge couldn't understand how she had only been away for a few days, yet Homer had already fallen into such a miserable state from hunger. That night, she heard sounds coming from downstairs. At first, she assumed Homer was sneaking food again, but just as she was about to stop him, she realized he was actually consuming himself. Marge immediately brought Homer to a psychiatrist, by which point he had already eaten away much of his lower body. The doctor was completely stunned, and even thought about quitting his profession to appear on television and gain fame by sharing Homer's story. With no other solution, Marge chose to leave him. Much later, Homer mailed a letter to his family explaining how they could forgive him, but they would have to return home to read it. So Marge brought the children back to Springfield, only to discover their house had been turned into a restaurant. A food critic repeated Homer's final message.
He wanted me to pass on these final words. I've failed as a man, but I have succeeded as an ingredient.
Bart was skeptical after hearing it, and the critic immediately presented a dish containing Homer's cerebellum. After trying it, Bart was surprised by how good it tasted. Marge felt relieved as well. Although Homer was gone, his taste remained in people's memories, and Springfield itself had become Homer's culinary legacy.